Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Inside the GM Studio, podcast all about the tabletop RPG hobby. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm David.
And I just realized I can't hear myself in my headphones. Let's see if I can fix that real quick.
I'll turn my headphones up.
Because this is now weird. Sound makes me feel weird. There we go. Much better.
Yay.
All right. Recently, since our game on Saturday, I had a thought as me being the only guy in our group now that we're only three, plus David as the GM, I'm the only one with a multi-monitor setup, and I'm the only one that's actually probably playing at an actual PC and not a laptop. So I try to take it upon myself to be the quick rule checker, as I can just go onto one of my other screens and quickly do a Google search or look at D&D Beyond, 5e tools, all that sort of shit, or even in Roll20 if I get a chance. And I noticed, and I don't know how long this has been going on, I should have looked beforehand, that they're all default to the 2024 rules now.
In the compendium, yeah.
So 5e tools, D&D Beyond, every place that I used to just go and pop in a rule question or try to find a mechanic, it was always 2014. It was just what we did. We played with the 2014 rules, never even thought about it because David and I, neither of us have really even thought about playing the 2024 edition rules. No. So I never thought about it. And I thought they might, kind of make sure that if you are looking at this, they're going to be like, now hold up, which one do you want?
They do that, and
2024.
And the SRD, when you look it up in the compendium, they will both pop up, and you can click the 2014 rules as opposed to the 2024 rules. So
I got to thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe this will help out both David and I if I put a little quiz up, and I've got a shit ton of little questions here, which now that I was looking at it right before the show here, I was like, you know what? I probably should have maybe put like references or something in here so we could talk about it a little bit more. But screw it. I don't care. To see the differences between 2014 and 2024 and to see how well we can pick out which one goes to what. At least David, because I've got all the answers right here. I made the fucking quiz.
Cheater.
Total cheater. So, for this week, I thought we'd go back to the Inside the GM Studio game show with our ever-loving contestant, David.
Hey, just happy to be here, Matt.
GM Studio Game Show. Oh. The game show all about tabletop RPGs and the RPG. Thank you, announcer Matt. Doing great. With your host, David. Oh, that was when David did the hosting.
I was the host. You ruined it.
And our guest, the hometown barbarian. Oh, yeah, Cody was the Cody. Thank you, host Matt. You've been doing great, man. And now here's David as the contestant.
As the contestant, yeah. That's outdated, bro. You gotta.
Thanks for doing all that work back then, Matt, and using it. And forgot that you put a voiceover in there.
Yeah.
All you wanted to do was a little theme music. Good job. Man, I can be creative sometimes and then completely fuck it up. All right. So, Dave, would you like me to give you a kind of like a teaser question of what you might be getting here? So there's some questions on here that I just wrote down that could be a little confusing for veterans, but it could also be so just punch you in the face that you'll know which one it is, that it's also in there, so that the ones that I have in here that are a little more harder to maybe pinpoint, there's some really easy ones as well. Like, I can tell you one question. Exhaustion is a scaled penalty system affecting D20 rolls. Now, does that come from 2024 or 2014?
Like, just as a descriptor. See, here's the thing, though, is because so many things that are in the 2024 rules are also things that are in the 2014 rules, framing the question as where it comes from, like, or what it's exclusive to is probably better, right?
Right.
That is a thing that I'm sure the descriptor in the 2024 rules says, but it comes from the 2014 rules. But exhaustion affects more than D20 rolls in the 2014 edition.
You are correct. Exhaustion has 6 distinct levels with specific penalties in each stage in the 2014 rules, where 2024 is just 6 levels of negatives to D20 rolls.
Okay, so if you're, yeah, then it's pretty easy to understand. Like that mechanic does come from the 2014 rules, but if that's all the mechanic is, and you're saying, then yeah, that's not what
Yep.
the 2024 rules affect. Speed, they affect certain types of rolls, saving throws, attack rolls, ability checks on a gradient scale.
Yes, sir. So that was a little something there that you might be able to, or at least to show you what this is going to be like. Like I said, it can be a little harder to figure out, but I think with the easier ones, they really I don't know what I'm trying to say, so I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Maybe they're more self-evident, I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
You're
All right. Number 2.
You're
Critical
number
hits
two.
only. Critical hits only double the weapon's damage dice, not additional effects like sneak attack or divine smite.
Oh, that's got to be only 2024 then.
That is correct. Critical hits double all damage dice rolls, including sneak attack, divine smite, and similar effects in the 2014 rules.
They nerfed that.
I know, fucking bullshit.
That's dumb.
Oh, hold on. I know what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to, for scoring purposes, what I can do is I will make it a nice little color.
It's there's see, it almost makes me wonder if what they did is nerfed critical hits, but made the characters have better overall damage output. But things like this is like
Yeah.
when I learned them is the reason that I'm like, that's just dumb. Like it's like, especially by doubling things like sneak attack, is the only way that a like a high level rogue can get to the damage output of like a spellcaster, for instance. Same thing with fighters or any melee, not even melee, any martial class. Like by doubling those dice, hunter's mark on top of sneak attack on top of like whatever, but just doubling the weapons die, especially because most weapons don't do more than usually a D8 or a D10, occasionally a D12 or a 2D6. But and from what I understand, like if you just said the weapons die for a 2D6 weapon, that would just be rolling 3D6 instead of 2D6. But when
Yep.
you say when you double all of the dice, then that grows, and that's much better for a rare occurrence like a critical hit. And so critical hits are not super common as is. I mean, 5% of the time, 10% if you're a champion fighter. So it's like that just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what the intent of that is. If it's just easier, if it's just the intent is to make it easier and cleaner, then just say whatever damage you roll, multiply that by 2. Like
Yeah.
on all damage dice, just multiply it by 2. That's a critical hit. Then you're always doing double damage. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the point of that is.
Next, multi-classing has no minimum ability score requirements.
Oh, that's wait. Multi-classing has no minimum ability. You mean like if you start as a class and you want to get a new class,
Yes.
that there's no requirements for whatever class that you go into. That's 2024. 2014 requires a minimum threshold for depending on what class you're multi-classing into.
You are correct. Long rest restore all hit points and half of spent hit dice.
That's a 2014 rule. I don't know if that's what the 2024 rule is as well, but it's
Nope.
2014.
2024 long rest alone have revised recovery rules and are more constrained in some implementations. This is why I wish I put down references because I don't remember what they are anymore. But they are. They become a little more constrained in the rules for long rest and your hit points and hit die that you get back.
Yeah, there's something that I think should be simple. I mean, I like in my campaigns, I usually just say you get all your hit dice back. all your hit dice and all your hit points at a long rest. As long as you're not allowing the party to abuse the long rest mechanic and you're challenging them throughout the adventuring day, that should be appropriate. But, I'm be curious. I haven't looked at the 2024 rules for long rests, but if they're designed to be more, I don't know, gradient, then that
Mm,
just seems, it doesn't seem like something that I really need in my game to have sophistication.
yeah. All right. Next one up. The grappled condition reduces a creature's speed to 0 without additional standardized escape DC rules.
Without other, say that again.
The grappled condition reduces a creature's speed to 0 without additional standardized escape DC rules.
Oh, escape DC rules. Um, Trying to figure out the way that that's worded. So that's got to be a 2024 ruling because in 2014, what grapple does is reduces a character's speed to 0, but you remain grappled until you escape, and that's usually a contested athletics or acrobatics check between the grappler and the grapplee.
And that is why you're incorrect, because there's no DC. It's contested. In 2024, grapple uses standardized save DC and a clear escape mechanic.
Ah.
With the grapple condition as it is now, yeah, escape is contested, is not a DC check.
So okay, but that's you're saying standardized DC. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Because to me, if you get a 12 on your athletics check to grapple me, then my DC to escape is 12. But you're saying as opposed to a contested check.
right. That's why I kept trying to say like standardized escape DC rules. I
So
tried
in
to,
other words, so in other words, I answered wrong, but I explained correctly
yes,
what
you
the
can,
20. So that's like a half a point, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, okay, we can give you that half point.
I mean, I maintain that I knew what the ruling was for 2014, but you're saying in 2024 it just is a standard DC
Hmm.
to escape. And does that
Yes.
depend on the creature's size or strength or something?
I don't know. I never looked into it that much farther. It was just it was in the RSRD
Because it
that it's
seems
a
like having
standard.
just yeah, if it's standard to me, it seems like it should be ecumenical, but that makes no sense because if an ogre is grappling you versus a kobold grappling you, it seems like it would be more difficult to escape. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I could see that if um it basically cuts down the number of rolls that are happening in a round, and it also makes it better that like if it's a static thing, like um if you say it's like tiny, medium, or large, gargantuan, or whatever, that this is the escape DC. Because typically, the way it works for some monsters in the um, monster manual in the 2014, it just says you're grappled, you're restrained, you're whatever, and then it just gives you a DC to escape, like as part of that monster stat block. So if
Mhm.
it does seem better that they would like unify that, or because it's weird that like, well, when this other player grapples you, then it's a contested check, but then like when you're grappled by the purple worm, your escape DC is just a flat whatever. And what that
Yeah.
would do is it eliminates variances where it's like you could conceivably get somebody that rolls really poorly that is strong and somebody that rolls really well that is weak, and they would probably, it would just, your distribution of outcomes would be too all over the place, when it's probably better that it's like a large creature or just a strong creature based on strength or whatever is grappling you, and you have an 8 strength. The likelihood that you're going to escape should be, very, very low, instead
Mhm.
of just like, I got a 1 in 20 chance of getting a 20 and they got a 1 in 20 chance of getting a 1, so it's just easier. Probably streamlines the process. So I'm actually probably more in favor of the 2024 rules there.
They do, yeah, they do the same thing with like hide, sneak, and all that. It's all just
Mhm.
a like a standard DC that you got to hit. There's no variance really, or maybe there's more in the book there that I didn't see, but I just see that that's like one of the main points that they put in there. That was just like, this is new and we think you'll like it.
Yeah, for sneaking, I can see it being like, I mean, typically the way I do it is I don't have characters. I just use the the people trying to detect the sneaker. I just use their passive perception. I don't roll for them, so
Yeah.
it's not a contested check unless they're actively searching. Like if they're like, oh, like I'm gonna go over here
I
and
was gonna say,
search.
yeah, if somebody's on watch, then I'll actually roll for it. But like you said, if anything, it's just the passive perception.
Yeah, and typically I would just set their general alertness level in the descriptor text, right? I
Hmm.
would say they're highly alert. Like if you try to break into a place and then you fail and have to go away and come back, then they're going to be on higher alert. But if they've been sitting at this outpost for like a week and now they're getting bored and they're just kind of drinking a lot, then I might set their DC lower. So it just
Yeah.
depends on the circumstances, but that should probably be handled within the narrative of the game. But I don't do contested checks there. They get a little tedious.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Next one up. Bonus actions are only usable when a feature explicitly grants them.
Bonus actions are only usable when a feature explicitly grants them. Um, yeah, I mean you can't use a bonus action in the 2014 rules unless you have something to use that bonus action with. But here's a key distinction, and maybe the wording is a bit vague. Um, Typically most people are going to be using some sort of class feature to use their bonus action, and absent that, then you can't use a bonus action because you don't have anything to use it for.
Hmm.
However, if you're dual wielding, then you can use your bonus action to make an offhand attack.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if that falls under the umbrella of feature, but to me, it's a feature of dual wielding. So if you're not dual wielding and you don't have a class feature, then you can't. Then the 2014 rules say that yours nothing to do with your
So when
bonus
I
action.
put feature on here, I meant it like a character feature. You know how we have the feature category for like class, background, and
Right.
race. That's it.
That's why I delineated.
Yep.
So like
That's why I will
race.
make sure to let you know that that's what I was thinking of was
Okay.
class, race, and background.
Then that's not true. You can make an offhand attack with a bonus action, but that's a feature of the dual wielding
Yes.
class rules or
Yep.
character rules. So
So are you
2014.
saying 2014 or 2024?
No, I'm saying 2024.
Oh, that is incorrect. Um, Bonus actions are a lot more broadly integrated into the game in the 2024 rules, like you were saying, because I was talking only about features like class, race, and background.
Hmm.
Of course, drinking a potion now is only a bonus action, and they've used bonus action like Hunter's Mark now isn't a spell; it's just a bonus action that the ranger can use,
Yeah.
something like that. But yes, they've kind of like used bonus action for a lot more things other than just
Right.
other simpler features.
But the way it's phrased, you're saying that you can't use a bonus action unless a feature calls for it, right?
Yeah.
And then you're saying like class, race features, those sort of things.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is that the 2014 rules, yes, you can use a bonus action for something outside of that, and it's an offhand attack.
Oh yeah. But that's yeah. That's why yeah. When it's something broad that any character can do, then yes, there's plenty of other ones. Uh,
Yeah.
that's why I should have again probably put it in there: class, race, and background features.
But
Be-
but what I'm saying is that the dual wielding feature is not a feature of class, race, or background. It's a general character rule that anybody can avail themselves
Mhm.
to. You're saying in the 2024 edition there are more things like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Ah,
There's a
okay.
lot more that actually they just kind of throw in as, and I think it is, again, I read through the book once and I haven't really looked at it again since it first came out. So almost 2 years now since it's come out. I've never really read into it. But I think some class features even just say use an action or something like that. They use some wording now that you can use bonus action or regular action. You know how we're always looking for rules to make sure that use on bonus action Like they might have gotten rid of the whole thing where if it says that it's made with a bonus action, you have to use it as a bonus action.
Mm.
And you can't use it for, you can't substitute your move or your major action, whatever.
Yeah, in fourth edition they used to call that trading down. So
Yeah.
the hierarchy went action, movement, bonus action, use object, and you can trade one down lower on the list for one up the
Yeah.
higher list, but not the other way around.
If they did change it in the 2024 edition, I think that's cool, but I think it'll work out either way.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus! Well, this is great. Putting it right after with the next question: dual wielding in brackets 2-weapon fighting requires a bonus action attack with the offhand weapon.
Yeah, that's the 2014 rules.
Yes. So in 2024, with the bonus action new economy, 2-weapon fighting is revised to reduce. Jesus Christ, Matt.
Redouche. Douche and then douche again.
Revised to reduce reliance on bonus actions in the same cases. I do remember, they wanted to open up the ability to use bonus actions more. So they wanted to kind of get rid of that all these other actions had to take your bonus action. So they wanted to open it up for other class features and whatnot. So that one is correct.
So how do you make a dual weapon attack in 2024? It doesn't use your bonus action anymore.
That's a great question, bitch. And I don't remember.
Okay, next question.
Yeah. You know what? Look it up.
Because like I can see like wanting to. It kind of sucks when you want to dual wield, but you want to have some other thing. You want to transfer Hunter's Mark and make an offhand attack. But it also seems like the best, like in order to kind of eliminate the bonus action mechanic for an offhand attack, you would have to kind of create some sort of, I don't know, weapon use tree or some sort of other thing that just says there would, eliminating the cost of making a secondary attack. Because there should be a cost to making a secondary attack. It shouldn't just be like you have two weapons so you can make two attacks. It seems like it would get more complicated for dual wielding if you weren't going to have it with a bonus action. So I was just kind of curious to see how they balance that, because if it makes it more complicated, then I'm not in favor of doing away with it. But I do appreciate the principle of like we want more things to take a bonus action for you to do them. And so we also don't want you to have to decide between a class feature and an offhand attack, but I don't see a way around that. So I don't know.
Next one up. Conditions like slowed, dazed, and similar standardized effects are more formally codified across abilities.
Are more formally codified across abilities?
Yes.
Say it again.
So conditions like slow, dazed, and similar standardized effects are more formally codified across abilities. Where what I'm trying to say is they're more like if you're slow, dazed, you'll have disadvantage on these checks, dexterity checks.
I mean, I know there are some conditions that do that, but I don't think they're widespread in the 2014 rules. For instance, slowed, I don't think gives you anything other than a speed penalty. So I'm going to say that it's not the 2024 ruling, and it must be the 2014 ruling. So if you're asking which one is more codified across abilities, I'm going to guess the 2024, because there are several conditions in the 2014 rules. Some of them do say you have disadvantage or automatically fail dexterity saving
Yes.
throws or stuff like that, but it's not up and down the condition spectrum. At
Yes,
least
you are
from what I
correct.
remember. So
Yep. Fewer standardized condition keywords with the 2014 rules. They're often described like individually in each feature, what it does.
yeah, like charmed, for instance, I don't think gives you any penalty to your any abilities or saving throws, and slowed doesn't. But then like or incapacitated doesn't either. I think it might just say you automatically fail certain saving throws if you're incapacitated, but it doesn't disadvantage you on them. And then some do, like paralyzed, I think gives you disadvantage or automatic failure on dexterity saving throws or something like that. So it depends on each condition.
All right. The help action grants advantage on an ally's ability check or attack roll in a broadly flexible way.
That's a tough one because the key for me is broadly flexible. That is what the help action does. Advantage on an ability check and or an attack roll. But what's catching me up is broadly flexible because for ability checks, it does seem like the 2014 rules are broadly flexible, which to me is kind of like we've gone over this. Like, sure, it makes sense that you might be able to assist somebody with an athletics check if they're lifting something, but it makes very little sense if you. It makes less sense that you would be able to assist them with, say, a nature or history check if they're trying to recall information. So that is broadly flexible. However, the melee or the help action to use advantage on an attack roll is not broadly flexible. It seems, if I recall, you have to be adjacent to the enemy that the ally is going to attack to grant advantage. So it's not broadly flexible. It's fairly rigidly like defined that you need to be adjacent to this enemy and then the next attack roll that a specified ally. It's not just I think it's a specified ally. Like I can't just say I'll use the help action and then the next attack against them
No,
has
yeah,
advantage.
you have
It
to
has
state
to,
who you're helping.
you have to say I'm gonna help Matt. So Matt's next attack, and in my head for a second it was melee attacks, but I think it is melee and ranged attacks, or even spell attacks. So that's pretty rigidly defined, whereas the ability thing is more broadly defined. So to me, they're kind of a wash. So I really am kind of on the fence about whether they're your intent there because it's not. I guess here's the thing: is if you're saying is it broadly defined, and the answer is that it's broadly defined for one of the two, then to me it's not broadly defined. So I'm going to say not 2014 rules.
You are correct. While the 2014 rules are kind of broad in description, uh, they do have more defined limitations to what you can actually do.
Yeah, because it's like that's my thinking is it's like if you're saying is it broad and the answer is it's broad under certain circumstances, then the real answer is no, it's not because it's specified in some circumstances and broad in other, which means that it's kind of balanced, but not broad and not specific, but it's not broad. So that was a tough one.
Yeah, that was one that I kind of, it was made for a veteran like yourself to make you kind of go, I wonder. All right. These ones were a little bit better when I first started writing the quiz. Unarmed strikes deal a fixed 1 damage plus strength modifier. That is just a direct, right out of the book, that is the mechanic.
That's the 2014 rules.
That is the 2014 rules. Unarmed strikes in 2024 use improved scaling, is what they're calling it, and can deal more meaningful damage based on your class or rules update. A lot of
being
the
a monk.
yeah, a lot of the martial classes now, all of the martial classes, I believe, again, don't fucking quote me because I haven't looked too much into it, get a fighting style now. And I know like the fighter one, the unarmed one is actually really dope in the new rules, except that you can only attack once. You can't do the offhand like the monk can. You only get the one. All right, so
Yeah,
that
I
was
don't know. I don't like that. I think it should just be a fixed. A punch to the face should, under no circumstances, be more detrimental than a weapon to the face. Like even if that weapon is just a beer bottle, right? Like or a beer mug for that matter. Like, you know, objects generally speaking hurt more than your fists.
yeah.
Like
But it's like they say, Mike Tyson has the punching power of a of a sledgehammer swung this fast or whatever. So I can understand it.
Yeah, and if he put a gauntlet on his hand and punched you with that, he would kill you. Like,
Actually, he'd probably be like, "Why do I need this?
I don't need
I
it.
don't need this to make orphans of his children." All right, next question. All classes gain their subclass at level 3.
That's gotta be 2024.
It is not.
All all
Subclass.
of them in 2014 gated at 3?
Yes, so you can get like what kind of sorcerer you are and your domain as a cleric, and your pact as a warlock are all at character creation. But your subclass doesn't come until level 3 for all classes.
It's all classes.
Yeah.
Okay, because for some reason I was thinking the fighter that you choose your subclass at level 2.
Nope. No,
No?
in 2024, they gain them all at like 1 or 2, level 1 or 2.
I mean, I like it better being like a static amount. I guess maybe there are some aspects of your. I'm delineating. I think you get your fighting style initially, right? And
Yeah,
that's not, but that's not part of your subclass.
right.
It's just a fighting style.
Mhm.
So, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I couldn't think of any. I was like, thought maybe the fighter, but I was like, it can't be all classes that get it at 3.
Yeah.
But I guess it is. So, oh, I get one wrong. Heyo.
I might have fucked that up actually. Hold on, I got to do this because I got to make sure that David is not crazy. Hold on, we got to look. Fuck, you son of a bitch. Make sure you give me 2014 rules. Okay. I was wrong. That one is not. This is going to be your X will be taken off and a check mark or no credit will be applied because I forgot the wizard gets their arcane tradition at 2nd level.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The wizard gets the arcane tradition, but I don't know if that's their subclass.
That is their subclass.
I don't know much about wizards.
Yeah, that is their subclass. Their arcane tradition is at level 2, and that is their subclass. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Well, we're gonna mark that as correct and good because that was my fault.
Whew, dodged the bullet there.
Okay, a character can only benefit from one source of inspiration at a time.
That is 2014 rules.
That is correct. Inspiration is more fluid and can be gained more frequently, including from certain triggers in 2024. There's actual mechanics for if you do this, you can gain inspiration. And it's supposed to be used a lot more. Hell, every character starts with inspiration at the beginning of every game, or it's every day. I think it's every day. Maybe that's a human thing. There's something about it in 2024 that you get inspiration every day.
Yeah, wasn't it on the last quiz where I was like pointed out that people always forget if you have inspiration, you can give it to one of your fucking comrades. Like you could just be like, I give him my inspiration, but we always just use it for ourselves. But you can give it to other players too.
All right. The ready action allows you to take an action later using your reaction, but you must specify the trigger and action.
That's true for 2014 rules. However, it's not just take an action. You can also take movement. So
Yes.
I don't know if that was just a gap in the way it was
Yeah,
phrased.
when action is any bonus action, major action, move action.
I don't think you can use a bonus. I don't think you can set it ready for a bonus action. I think it's only action and movement.
Okay.
But yes, you need to specify in 2014 rules. You need to specify what the trigger is, hopefully in concrete terms. So this person moves within my reach is demonstrable. Like if they move within my reach, or you could set it as a trigger. Like if they just move at all, I'm gonna shoot them with my bow, or I'm gonna if he attacks, my ally, then moves adjacent to my ally, then the trigger occurs, provided the circumstances are still provided the circumstances are relevant and you don't use your reaction for something else. Like I'm pretty sure if you set a ready and the trigger occurs, but you like use your reaction to cast shield or to make an opportunity attack or something, then you would have used your reaction, so you can't do it. But if it doesn't occur, then until the start of your next turn, then you just lose that ready. I think is how those mechanics work.
Okay. Next one, we're getting into how much we looked at the book, and when we looked these stuff up, this is actually kind of being kind of shitty to David, because this is like
Ooh,
a player would be looking at feats a lot more than the DM would. Where here,
okay.
this is another one of the tougher ones I wanted. Feats are categorized by level. An example, first level feats versus higher level feats uh, in this book.
That's the 2024 rules.
You
There
are
there
correct.
there are requirements for certain prerequisites for the feats in the 2014 edition. Like you have to have a dexterity of 13 or whatever to take uh the whatever where you can do a riposte or whatever on the guy or so there are certain ability requirements, but I'm pretty sure there are no level requirements on any of the feats.
Nope. In the 2014 book, there are no they're not in levels at all. Like
Yeah.
you said, they're just thrown out there. So yeah, you are correct.
They do have some requirements, like some of them are race based, like you can only take it if you're dragonborn. Some of
Yep.
them are skill based, like you can only take it if you have a dexterity of X, or they might, there's some of them like the ability to cast at least one cantrip or something like that. I think like you have to have spell casting ability in order to take it, um, but no level requirements. So that's yeah, that's 2014 or 2024 rules make you have levels.
All right. Next one up. Inspiration is awarded at the DM's discretion, not tied to dice results.
As awarded at DM's discretion, not tied to dice results. That's 2014 rules.
You are correct. Wait, you said 2024?
No, no, I'm sorry, 2014 rules.
Yes, yes, you are correct. Inspiration in 2024 is you get inspiration on a nat 1 in some of the new mechanics. Yeah.
Like you fumble and you get inspiration from fumbling.
Yep. Yeah,
That
because you learn from your failure, so you get like this boost uh that you can use later on because you failed.
that's terrible. I hate that. I think it should be a role playing thing. I don't think it should be, especially because inspiration is supposed to be bonus fries,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, to be clear, it's not arbitrary. It's usually because you're fulfilling your ideals, bonds, or merits, or whatever they are. Like there's some role playing thing involved, and then there's also some mechanics for downtime where it's like you help the church out for X amount of downtime days, and you get inspiration for X amount of downtime days following. So it's like a role playing thing. Tying it to dice results just seems arbitrary.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a mechanic. It's a thing to encourage the players to provide the texture in the game that the DM likes, and tying it to any sort of dice roll, I think is making the game overly crunchy.
All right, next one up. Skill checks are always tied to a specific ability. An example, stealth is used dexterity, uh, history is intelligence.
In um in the 2014 rules, that's not true. You do have latitude to make players or call for checks like a history check that uses some other ability other than intelligence, for instance. And generally speaking, with toolkits, or vehicle proficiencies. So I'm not sure if those count as quote skills, but those are tend to be more fluid even. It's going to be pretty common that if you're proficient in blacksmith tools that you're going to be using strength.
No, no,
Um,
this is skill check. This isn't a no tool.
okay, I didn't know if that count like if you just
Yeah,
meant
skill check, no tool, no tool use tool checks.
okay, then it's a little muddier, but I'm pretty sure the 2014 rules do not require that they're always tied to a certain ability, just that they typically are.
I didn't say it required.
Well, you said always.
Yes.
They're not always.
Um, technically they're married to those. Uh, so that is what they say you should use. You are correct. It's always been that way since 2014 came out. When 5th edition released, they tried to push that real hard. That you can use other if you have a good example of doing it, you can use other abilities for skills. They really want to hammer that into skills for 2024 these days, as they have different mechanics for flexibly swapping abilities for school with skills.
I would I would posit that I do not have the text of the skill checks in front of me, but I am almost positive at some point in the player's handbook in the 2014 edition it notes this. And I will point to some visual evidence that bolsters my point. In the text of adventures and the text in books, almost across the board, I have never read it anything other than it'll say anytime you make an intelligence parentheses history check,
Right.
anytime you make an intelligence parentheses nature check,
Mm-hmm.
and that is that way across the board in every book and every adventure that I've written.
Yep.
If they were necessarily tied to that skill, you wouldn't need to delineate them that way. If nature was always intelligence and history was always intelligence, then you wouldn't need to say intelligence, history,
Mm-hmm.
intelligence, nature. You would just say nature or history.
Yep.
And given that they don't do that, then there's the heavy presumption that you could use different skills tied to different attributes. So,
Yep. Actually, when 5th edition first came out, I remember Chris Perkins running a game for Acquisitions Incorporated, probably at the time,
mhm.
where he made sure to say he made it. It was a point to make sure to speak every time. Can you do an intelligence check for me and add your Arcana skill? And he
Mhm.
would say it like that to make it because that's what they really wanted to do was we want to make you should be able to use any skill you want with any ability. Just tell me how.
Yeah. But some make more sense than others, right?
Mhm.
Like I've allowed many we've gone on this about how many players like go like, well, it's not why shouldn't I be able to use my strength with my intimidation? It's
Mhm.
like okay, I get that, but there's a reason that it's tied to your charisma because clever players will be finding the uses to try to basically get proficiency in a skill that they're where their attribute is weak, take proficiency in something and then use your attribute to bolster it, and it just opens the door for a lot of bullshitting on the
Yeah.
part of players. So you just gotta. I understand that you want to have that flexibility, and I think that flexibility is cool. But without some sort of safeguards or some sort of, let's say, standardized assumptions, then clever players will try to fuck around with the rules and kind of erode the whole notion of what it means to be trained in a skill or not. So,
Mhm. All right. Next one up. Death saving throws are rolled at the start of your turn when at 0 hit points.
I think this is also true in fourth edition, but that's a 2014 rule. You start your turn by rolling a death save, not end your turn. Because if you get a hit point back, then you get your turn. Your turn is all there. And if you die, then there's nothing to be done for you, and that happens at the start of your turn as well. So,
Yeah, I was going to write what you actually use it in here for. I will just kind of paraphrase that they've taken death saves and they're not what we know today, really, uh, because they're used with other mechanics that go while you are in the process of dying. And I hate it. I don't like it. Just the death saves are they're fantastic chef's kiss. It's been that way since 4th edition. It's been great. Fuck off. They're good.
well, in fourth edition, they actually used to be it used to be a type of save, I want to say, right? Um, like it varied from character to character what was a success. I seem to recall that it wasn't just like a straight D20 roll, that like you could have things that like adjusted it, like feats and shit,
Yeah.
or maybe I'm wrong about
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You could.
Yeah.
I do
And
remember
so
that.
yeah, and there used to be a hierarchy because in fourth edition there was such a thing as ongoing damage. And so it was always important whether you were taking ongoing damage and you kept taking ongoing damage even though you were down, then that ongoing damage hit you before you did your death save. And now it's like um damage just causes you to get a failure automatically, right? On a death save. There's no like tracking the negative hit points until you can come back to whatever. And I think it's cleaner in fifth edition. It's crunchier in fourth edition. So if you like that, maybe that would be better. But yeah, I don't like anything that overcomplicates. You're on death's door. You should either be dead or alive within about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And if
Yep.
you can't get there,
Exactly.
then
You bleed out pretty fucking quick.
yeah.
Um. All right. Next one here. This one. So I think I wrote this one in anger a little bit and a little bit of just like, you'll see.
Okay.
This is just kind of a descriptor for the overall game. Magic items are not required for game balance and are considered optional.
According to the DMG and the 2014 rules, that's a 2014 rule.
It is. The new 2024 rules, they've put it in there that magic items must be integrated if you want to expect proper progression.
Boo, stupidity.
Yeah. Don't do that, dude. They did that in fourth edition, and I
Yep.
think it almost ruined the game.
Yeah, because you
It
got
was it was
slot.
it
You have a
was so
head slot.
fun
You
at
have a
first because you could go
neck slot.
shopping
You have
for all your new gear and all that, and I was like, oh, this is fun. But then you just realize I have to be decked out head to toe. Every slot has to be used.
and too many upgrades. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
there was way too many.
I need a new helmet. You need new gear. It's like Diablo. You need new gear every
Hmm.
few levels. It's like, no, like you get like this cool magic sword and you just have it for your whole adventuring career because, you're not likely to come across another magic sword or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Um. This is another one that is might get to you a little bit because of the wording, but there's a few words in here that give it away.
Okay.
Ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws are collectively referred to as D20 tests.
Ability checks, saving throws, and attack rolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there a fourth one?
Nope, that's it.
That's Yes, that's 2014 rules.
See, that's where I might have got to you. This is 2024 because collectively those things are called a test. Actually, D20 test isn't brought up in 2014 at all, I don't believe. Uh,
Oh,
using
did you say test?
test, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
tests. That was the big part in there. And now, yes, like I was saying, like this is a test where saving throws. I think that was a big difference, and I can't fucking remember what it was now. I need references, Matt.
Did you say collectively or
Yeah,
colloquially?
collectively.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard colloquially, like just not necessarily labeled that way in the book, but that you would just say, oh, like what does bless do? Like, well, it gives you a D4 to all D20 rolls, right?
Mm,
Like, and that would be uh any ability check, which would include any skill check, any tool proficiency check, initiative, saving throws, or attack rolls.
mm.
But wrong is wrong.
Yep, that's all right. All right, next one. A long rest requires at least 8 hours, including 6 hours of sleep or light activity.
That's the 2014 rules.
That is exactly what came out of the book in 2014. With the 2024 rules, they like to keep saying that it's for clear definition. Um, yeah, but they add in stuff for interruptions and recovery, and they've shortened the times. I know that. I just can't remember because I think a short rest now is something like 10 minutes instead of an hour.
I kind of like that a little more. That's kind of what we do. I don't like the
Yeah.
whole like it takes an hour for a short rest. It should be like somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes.
A creature can willingly fail a saving throw.
Yeah. That's in 2014 you can willingly fail a saving throw.
You are correct. In the 2024 rules, there are, again, they want to make sure we're trying to clarify it a little bit more. I guess giving more information might clarify some shit. But no, there are now restrictions depending on the effect that you are, the effect and the wording of that effect to if you can actually willingly fail a saving throw.
I'm trying to think of any condition where any circumstance where you wouldn't be able to willingly fail a saving
Yeah,
throw.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, that's weird.
All right. And the last one,
The last one.
you can only draw or stow one weapon per turn without using an action.
You can only draw or stow one weapon per turn without using an action. I suspect that you're getting at the. So, what the 2014 rules say is if you're making an attack on your turn, you can draw or stow a weapon as part of that attack for
Correct.
free.
You are correct.
So beyond that, you would need to spend an action to draw or stow a weapon. Like basically, but here's the thing that I was always vague on. So it also says that you get to use one object per turn, right? And they give
Mhm.
you a whole list of things that you can use an object for, one of which is drawing or stowing a weapon. So if the you get one free weapon draw as part of an attack, then that doesn't use your use object. So to me, it seems like if you're making an attack, not under other circumstances where you're not making an attack, but if you're making an attack, then you can draw a sword that you attack with, and then you could use object to draw the other sword, provided that you are not opening a door, lighting a lantern, or
Mhm.
whatever.
I think that's what they did here because now you can draw multiple weapons during an
Yeah.
attack. I think they figured that out. They were just kind of like, that was a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not overly complicated, but it's just not clear that
No,
whether that one that you draw is like for freezies or if it's
yeah.
just using an object.
And again, it's nice to know that you're using your use object to draw the next one. Where this here, I think they got rid of use object, and it's just you can draw a stow two no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with the use object. I kind of like it for certain things because it makes it clear what you can and can't
Yeah.
do with like a use object.
Hmm.
But then we also run into the problem that we switched in our campaign, which is like, if I can drink a flagon of ale as a use object, why can't I drink a healing potion as a use
Yeah.
object? That makes no sense, right?
Hmm.
You're just fixating on results. And so I like the use object but it is often overlooked as something you can do. So, for instance, if you're a dual wielding fighter, and if my memory serves, it does say for free. You draw it as
Yep.
for
Hmm.
free.
Yep.
And so then you should still be able to draw a second weapon with your use object, provided you're not doing anything else with your other hand.
Hmm.
So you can still get two weapons out, but then you run aground of these dumb things where it's like dropping an object is a free action. So it's like I want to pick up a torch with my offhand, and then it's like I already used an object to draw a sword. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this sword, and then I'm going to pick this thing up on my next turn, and then carry it. And then it's like, is it really that much of it? Does
Yeah.
it break the game that you sheathe the sword after you already drew it? I don't think it does, but
Well, you were only incorrect 4 times. So, hey. And
I
of
would,
course, I gave you that one that. Well, no, I think you got that one right anyway. So,
and I think
yeah,
I kind of
24, you're
contest. So I kind of contest the wording of some of those, but I'll take the 4 out of how many were there? 20?
20. 4 out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only got 4
No.
wrong out of 20.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say I got more like 18 out of 20, but I'll take the grade. I'll take it. Give me the grade. What do I get?
Oh, with 4, so that's 5%. That's A minus.
I mean, like, what do I get for getting an A minus?
Oh.
You have special music or a fucking candy for me or anything?
No.
All right, that's fine. All right, whatever.
All right. That is going to bring us to the end of this show. Maybe, if I got my music correctly here. All right. All you fuckers listening right now, give us some ideas of some stuff to talk about. Give us some ideas, maybe another different kind of quiz. You got a quiz you want to write? You should do it. Send it in to us. We'll take the quiz. Send it to insidethegmstudio@gmail.com. Just give us any sort of topic that you want to talk about, you want to hear from us, and we'll do it. Yeah, because we need some material. We need some stuff to talk about.
Nah, I got.
But for this week,
stuff, bro.
for Inside the GM Studio, I've been your host, Matt.
And I am David.
A good night.